Attention readers and leaders, world-renowned author Jordan Wells has teamed up with Hip Hop News Uncensored for a special offer just for you. That's right. I want everybody listening under the sound of my voice to click on the link at the top line of the description box and make sure you go grab yourself one of his many books right now. I'm guaranteeing you this book, any one of these books, will change your life and the way that you see things. The link is at the top of the description box. Ready, set, go. Interested in promoting your brand, business, or talent on Hip Hop News Uncensored? Hit me up right now at advertise@hiphopun.com.
This is before that, but nothing as big before or nothing as big after as my clothing store. So I had the clothing store, man. I just needed it. I ain't want to work for nobody. And I'm like, man, we need some clothes out here. So I'm like, I'm gonna supply the demand, and that's what I did. And I was successful at it. I got focused on something else.
Right. I wanted to ask you because Lik Moss started the conversation saying that he reached out to you. You really want to hear that shit. So what was your initial reaction when you heard that Lik Moss wanted to reach out?
Man, Mark, I said, all right, I'll talk to him. What's up, though? So it was like, he just want to talk to you. I'm like, all right. It's the first time he actually talked to me all these years. All right. So he called, and when he got on the phone, he was just like, yo, bro, I ain't calling about, he was like, Assalamu alaikum. I'm like, wa alaikum salam. He was like, I ain't calling about none of that other stuff, man. I just want to let you know I don't got no problems. Well, I said, man, I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. The fuck is you talking about this rat shit, man? Yeah. You've been talking this shit for a long time, bro. Well, let's get to this shit now. And then we got to it.
Now it was paperwork that came out, and it was all fucked up, for the, lack of a better word. And it was on the internet. Everybody seen it. I don't know if it was like a year or 2 years ago. Who you think would do something like that to you, and why you think that came out like that?
All right. Bro, parallel to OBH, I got risk takers. I'm going to just break it all down. Risk takers wasn't mine, but I took it. I took it and took it to a level of recognition. I didn't start it. I revamped it. I gave it style. I gave it what I gave it. But it wasn't mine. But it became identified with me. The people that I ran with were risk takers. They did a lot of things to me. Alongside the same time I was going through what I was going through with OBH. I was going through things on the road and things at home, and I was just trying to stay alive. I started moving forward with risk takers. Even after I took every loss with risk takers, I still moved forward. You get what I'm saying? I moved forward without them. They didn't like that. Because as they moving forward and they in their hometown, they carrying risk takers, and people like, yo, that's Shady Blacks. Yo, that's Trendsetters. They didn't like that. The person that's saying I paid for his lawyer. And the people that's rallying behind him saying, yeah, Shady told. They didn't pay for his lawyer. On top of that, they saying they know I told. They had paperwork. But it's proven from the government that they didn't get any paperwork with nobody name on it. They filed a motion of discovery. I could send y'all the link afterwards so you could put the link in the bio or whatever so people can read that they never got the names in their case. They speculated from there. They said, well, who's locked up and who's not? And then they start being rats themselves, trying to say allegedly like, Shady, we caught, come out. We want you in here too. We want you to be in jail, and that frightened me.
Damn.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So that frightened me. So where I was at, they in jail now. Abaddon was the first ones that was saying I was telling. Then the dudes out of town start saying, yeah, he told on us too. And then everything since then has been erased to prove that I told. They didn't prove that I told and then said I told. They said I told, and everything for these last couple years they've been trying to prove I told. When Ad went to trial, everybody thought I was going to come in court.
We was there.
Everybody thought I was coming in that courtroom, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
I was playing Black Ops 4, Alcatraz, the mini-map.
Now, what about like the people who say like it's kind of ironic, and we all know why you had to move or whatever, you know, because of the situation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to get you on that one, too. With these risk taker guys, I took all. My music started going up. I said, fuck them. I'm going to get my own. Whatever losses we took, we done. Everybody got jealous, and they start going behind it. Go look at the paperwork. Read the paperwork. Whoever telling, they're telling from Allentown. Whoever telling, it came from Fudd. That's the guy name. His name is Fudd. Whoever is telling came from Fudd. Read the paperwork. They said, we used to go to Shady and pick up large bags of money and give Shady bags. They said, what was in the bags that you gave Shady? The person said, I don't know. And then the person went on to relate that Fudd told him that Shady was a shooter. I said, whoa. Whoa. This is a setup. This is a setup. This came from this man. This came from, go read the paperwork. It came from them. So they had to stand behind that. In that little town, everybody know they rats. But go ahead, though. I can show you his dad, 5K1, on the computer. His dad a rat, too. He cooperated with the feds.
Wow. Now, I'm going to let you go real quick. I got to add this in there real quick. Because a lot of people, because I follow what's going on, you know what I mean? A lot of what's going on. Not with everybody or people I care about. And I see a lot of people running with the whole narrative, like, you know, you moved or whatever. A lot of people saying using witness protection and things like that. Could you talk about those rumors as well?
All right. So in 2012, I was 26 years old. I lived on Luray. D and Luray is in the Feltonville section of North Philadelphia. From D and Luray, I went to jail. I went to jail for 2 years. When I paroled, after being 26, for 2 years, 28, I paroled to a different town. My wife took a job somewhere else. So when I paroled to where my wife is. I go home to my family. Out there, I had to find a way. Because while I was in jail, she found a way. And that's to move away from Philly and start another life. Right? I come home from jail, I live in York. So now from 28 up until I got my store, when I was 31, I never even knew who Ab and them was. I don't know them guys. There's no reason for me to run. I already lived out of town. I never even met them guys until the grand opening of my store afterwards. I met them after the grand opening of my store. After Leak took me to them. I met them while we recorded Go Ahead, the freestyle. Me and Leak Moss.
So you knew Leak first, and then you were introduced to Ab from there.
Yeah, after I was already a grown man. I was in my 30s.
Okay.
But by then, I was already living out of town for 2-3 years. I already had like 3 spots out of there. I lived on Philadelphia Street. I lived in Dallas-town. I lived on Maple Street. I had like 3 different spots out of town already. And before I met Ed, I ain't run me out of town. I lived out of town. And then the whole time the beef was going on, I still stayed in that town. Me and my wife, I'm going to get a little personal, touch it and touch off it, because of the social media and shit, and the fact that I got a Muslim household and my wife don't sign up for this shit, she got the fuck out of here because I wasn't around my affairs. I ain't give her a choice. She ain't give me one either. And she left. And she left York and she moved to Arizona. And I stayed in York for another 2 years by myself. And I had people living with me. That's when you seen all the crews come around, all the young boys. I had people living with me. I ain't had nobody. I had 5 bedrooms. I was in there by myself. I gave a room to anybody. You feel me? So when all the stuff was going on with Ab and them, I moved from where I lived at after my lease was up because I'm paying rent for a 5-bedroom house. It's only just me. For real. Everybody else, they coming because the room here. It's just me. So I moved. I had a child coming on the way. I stayed in plain sight in Owens Mills, Maryland. I worked at Crate and Barrel. Everybody seen me. I stayed there for a year. Things ain't work out. I got back with my wife. Well, I got back with my wife. Fuck anything in between. I moved here. The thing is, bro, I'm not a dude that's going to be standing on the corner, even if I did live in Philly. I'm going to make sure I'm secure. But I'm not on the road because they put me on the road. That's malarkey. That's nonsense. I've been on the road because I'm a road runner.
Yeah, I mean, like Lik Moss said, if y'all really wanted to find each other like that to settle some, y'all could have found each other. It wasn't like you was anywhere.
Look, this is my mom's house. You walk, the go Lik house. The whole time we was beefing.
Talk about that, because during that beef,
there go my mom. There go Lik. Lik seen my mom in the store and ran.
Hell yeah. Trying to face mine, man. Fuck that. So, right after the whole beef started, you got on the computer, or you got on the phone, and you were on fire. You was going at their throat, going fucking crazy, and then returning fire just as equally back. What did you learn from that? Because obviously that wasn't a good situation. You were angry, you were frustrated, but at the time, the phone may have been not the best way to go ahead and solve that problem. What do you think that one of the biggest mistakes you made during that time, and what did you learn from it?
Kill them all. No, I had to do this. That's something I always wanted to say. That was in DS movie. DS the writer. That's in this movie. He'd be like, kill them all. No, honestly, bro. Like, I can't even look back on that stuff. It's embarrassing. Let me just keep it a buck with you.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. Really, go back on it. I'd be like, ooh, I was tripping. So yeah, I was out of pocket. That was nuts shit. You can't put no sugar on that. I regretted all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I regretted all that, man. The music would have been spoke for itself.
I kind of think it took away from the music, because at the time, like I said, my cousin introduced me to you. Hip Hop Uncensored introduced me to you. Shout out to the fucking brand. When you first got started, and the music was fire. It was on fire. And then the OBH beef came, and obviously your name started getting a lot more notoriety for all the wrong reasons. And then you started going in, and it was like the music was second, third, fourth, 10th. And the drama was first, and it was like, damn. I honestly thought at that time we lost a dope rapper and a dope talent,